Hi everybody, it's Andrea from AndreaTooley.com, and I'm back with another email for Email Monday. These are emails that you guys have all sent to me, and every week I'll pick one and kind of talk about it here on YouTube, and I hope it helps everybody else. So let's get started. Today's email is from Karsh, and Karsh asks for me to do an interview with a DO, which I'm totally working on. I have so many great interviews in the works, so I'm on it, Karsh, I promise. And his second question is what I want to talk about today. He asks, what was your secret to success? So that is a big question, Karsh, and I will try to answer it as much as I can. Success is such a subjective, loaded term. What makes you successful? I don't think there's a direct formula for success, or everybody's kind of view of success is totally different. But for me, things that have helped me kind of successfully get through college, get through medical school, match into residency in the field that I wanted, which was ophthalmology. There's been a lot of things that I've done, and so maybe I can kind of impart some of those little pieces of wisdom onto you, and maybe it'll help you out. So one thing that I think really helps me, and I talk about this in my How to Stay Motivated video, is just kind of keeping myself really motivated towards my goals. And so that involves kind of daily activities like making checklists and making to-do lists, making schedules while I'm studying to kind of help me stay motivated. Those are kind of day-to-day things, weekly, monthly things like volunteering, spending time in outreach clinics to remember why I'm doing what I'm doing, and to kind of stay motivated to push towards that goal. Then I talk about also in my How to Stay Motivated video just kind of a fear. I think that's a good healthy fear, knowing that you have to get good grades if you want to get to where you're going. And so it's always been my goal to go to medical school, and so I've always kind of had this healthy fear of I have to study, I have to get good grades, because not getting good grades is just not an option, because it's not going to help me towards my goals. So staying motivated has really helped me, and then I think just taking care of myself has really helped me stay successful, making sure I always get enough sleep. I'm a big sleeper, and so I never sacrifice sleep. I always cut out working out or other things in favor of sleeping, because that's a big stress reliever for me. So that, but then also really eating healthy, doing activities that I love, like hanging out with my husband, cooking, going for bike rides, going for runs, other things like that. Really taking care of yourself and knowing when you need to draw the line between kind of busting it and working really hard versus taking a step back and taking care of yourself. Because I'll tell you, there's been times where I've been working so hard and I've been like nose to the grindstone, working so hard and not taking care of myself, and I don't do as well. I really don't. So I remember second semester my sophomore year, I was taking physics, cell bio, analytical chemistry. I was taking a bunch of science classes, and I was like so determined to work as hard as possible, and I couldn't take any breaks, and I couldn't do anything fun, and I couldn't hang out with any friends, and I just got into this really hardcore mindset, and that was like my lowest GPA of all of college. And I think it's really because I didn't remember to have a balance and to take care of myself, because you're not going to retain information, you're not going to learn, you're not going to be happy, and you're not going to perform well if you're not taking care of yourself. And so really paying attention to those clues and keys of how you're feeling, and knowing when to draw the line between pushing yourself and working as hard as you can, and then taking a step back and taking care of yourself. So those things really helped me in college and in medical school for sure. Then another thing that's really helped me a ton is seeking out and working with really fantastic mentors. So in college and in medical school, I was able to work with really fantastic professors who kind of guided me and helped me and went out on a limb for me. And I think that was a huge part of my progression through college and medical school. So in college, I worked in a biology lab, and I did research on frogs, and learned a bunch of really cool lab techniques. And my PI, or the professor who was running that lab, was just incredible, and he was such a mentor for me, and he taught me so much, and he was there for me I started working with him as a sophomore, so sophomore, junior, and senior year. He knew me and kind of saw me grow as a student and got to know me really well. And his guidance and his advice was very helpful. Him kind of pushing me in the lab and pushing me to work harder as a scientist, which is not 100% in my nature, was really helpful. And then when it came time to apply to medical school, I had him there to write a letter of recommendation, and he really knew me as a person and had been an outstanding mentor, so that was very helpful. And I had a couple other professors who I didn't work with in a research sense, but were there for me in the same way and guided me to medical school. And then in medical school, I was so lucky. I got set up with a fantastic mentor right my first year of medical school. So I remember I knew I wanted to do ophthalmology, which is a surgical subspecialty. And after the first semester of med school, I hated anatomy. I just hated it. And I was really disappointed and really confused that I hated it, because I thought, well, if I'm going to be a surgeon, then how can I hate anatomy? And maybe this isn't for me. What am I going to do? And then I loved cell and molecular biology, which was another class that we took. And I wasn't expecting to love that so much, and I just killed that class. I dominated, and it came really naturally to me, and I enjoyed it so much. And so I was so confused, like, oh my gosh, maybe my path isn't what I thought it would be. And so I met with the professor of the cell and molecular biology class and kind of asked her and said, like, what should I do? Should I still do ophthalmology? Should I do research? Like, what should I do? And she said, it doesn't matter what you want to do. You need to do research. Whether you're going to do ophthalmology or anything else, you need to get involved with research right now. And she said, I know this great ophthalmologist who's brand new out of his fellowship. He's just starting his lab, and he's looking for medical students to be a part of his lab. And so I'm going to introduce you to him. And so that was second semester, my first year, when I met this professor, who would then come to be my mentor and just an incredible friend and an ally. And I worked in his lab all through medical school. And he saw me grow from first year, second year, third year, fourth year. We published papers together. I worked in his lab. He gave me tons of career advice, because he's an ophthalmologist and a physician scientist. And so that relationship with him was huge. Just always having him to kind of guide me in my career through medical school, I think really helped me become successful. And then having him to write a letter of recommendation for me when I went to apply for residency was also just, amazing, because he had seen me grow. He was there to vouch for me and say, I'd wanted to do ophthalmology for so long. And so having his mentorship really helped. And now that I'm in residency, I'm kind of remembering how important mentorship is, and finding those people who can guide you through their career, and you can kind of emulate them and do what they've done. So I'm on the market for some new mentors, and I think it's something that you should always have in life. You should always have somebody that you can look up to, and someone who can guide you in your career, and someone who kind of inspires you to push harder and work harder, and not stay stagnant, and keep doing what you want to do. So that's really important, and another kind of secret to my success. And lastly, I think just having good attitude. I think I've said this in another video before, that just being so grateful and so appreciative that this is what we get to do. And it's hard. Studying is hard, and giving up time with your friends is hard. But if you kind of take a step back and you think to yourself how lucky we are that we get to study and we get to learn all of this amazing stuff, and that we don't have to be out there fighting or afraid for our safety or worrying about getting food. We're so lucky that we get to learn, and we get to study, and we get to work with patients. And I think being in medicine is such a privilege. And so just always being grateful, I think will make you successful, because you'll always be appreciative of what you get to do, and always want to work harder and kind of keep going. So I think those are my biggest secrets to success. I'd love to hear what your secrets to success are. So leave some comments about kind of tips that you've picked up along the way, or what you think would make you successful in high school, undergrad, med school, or any other pre-health nursing school, whatever you happen to be in. I'd love to hear it. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.